Well, Renaissance man, trying to change, heading out to the gym. Usually walk and heading along one of my favourite walks. Guess I walk along a beautiful canal, which we'll see in a minute. But living where I live, it is pretty. It's pretty cool where I live. So I'll show you a bit of the scenery as I walk along. And yeah, although a few weeds and stuff, but there's some beautiful places. That's a pretty cool house as well. But heading along. Nice little bit of history there. So heading down, gonna walk along the canal. Nice easy walk. Back day today, doing a bit of back, and then do all the other stuff that I need to do. So, well, there we go. Here's the canal. Look a bit oily this morning though, I have to say, but you know, it's interesting to think that this would stretch to Liverpool, it stretched to Manchester, stretched everywhere. Part of a set of canals that would literally transport wool, coal, pretty much anything you can imagine to get to bring things out. I'm not going to go through the whole list because that's not what the video is today, but it's certainly certainly an interesting look, and blackberries are coming out as well, slowly ripening. Good place for blackberry picking. So I'm really quickly going to do a video on the new HBO Harry Potter series, and apparently they are doing it book for book, word for word, so that you get more accurate portrayal of the books, which is fair enough. You know, I think a lot of us, the films were good, but I think a lot of us really wanted to see a lot more, and I certainly think the portrayal of Dumbledore in the films was not the portrayal of Dumbledore in the books. For instance, in the books, Dumbledore was always calm, graceful, walking around sharing lemon drops with the students. Even, for instance, in the Goblet of Fire, he quietly asked Harry if he placed his name in the Goblet of Fire. He didn't go ranting and shouting at Harry like he did in the film. So let's see what happens. But the main reason for talking about it is today is that and it's a topic that an awful lot of people are conflicted on. I have my own personal thoughts. Obviously, that's why I'm sharing. But HBO, I think, have mentioned that they want to make it more inclusive, and it leads me to wonder if they've actually read the books, if they've actually, you know, I wonder if they've actually read the books, if they've looked at the books, or if they've actually seen what the books are all about. I was just switching over hands onto my other hand, and I just wonder if they've actually really taken a notice. For example, Snape being cast, and a black actor being cast as Snape. Now, the actor is a good actor, don't get me wrong, but the way Snape has been described is not a black person. And people ask, well, does it matter? Well, actually, yes, on several things. J.K. Rowling put a lot of effort into writing up various characters, put a lot of effort already into creating a book that's already inclusive. For example, one of the most powerful magic users is Kingsley Shacklebolt, and whilst he only appears in the last few books, nevertheless, he is still a very powerful, talented magic user, wizard, whatever you want to call it. And there are many other students, black, Chinese, Indian, the list goes on and on. The books are already inclusive. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to go on the excuse of inclusivity and diversity. The books are already diverse. And do you really think the wizarding world is worried about skin colour and about black people being inclusive when they've got a much more of a worry about a dark wizard coming to destroy things? Now, I suppose you could use that argument and say, well, should they be worried about Snape being black or white? But it's a poor argument. Like I said, the description that J.K. Rowling gave is not the features of a black person. It really isn't. So, part of me really would like to see this HBO adaptation, and I have heard rumours that J.K. Rowling has said a few things, and there's a lot of rumours on the internet. Like they always say, you can't always trust Google and the internet to give you the actual story behind it. If you want to know what the author is saying, take a look at the author and what she is saying. I'm also going to say here that J.K. Rowling has really made a lot of points, valid factual points, and she has been brave enough to stand up for, well, women of the world. She's been brave enough to say, actually, the transgender organisation is really an insult towards women, and it is. There aren't, the best you're going to get on this is either an extremely feminine man or an extremely masculine woman. That's all you're going to get. You physically cannot change from one to another. This identity and this all this saying, oh, I identify as a woman, it shows to not a problem with someone being the wrong sex, but a deep problem with their psychosis and their mental stability. And J.K. Rowling is absolutely right. Transgender people should not, well, I'm not even going to use the word trans, men should not be allowed to compete in women's sports. It's as simple as that. We're living in a crazy world, and she seems to be a sane voice in a stupid world, quite frankly. And I support J.K. Rowling. I really don't care what people have to say. If they want to say anything about me, I really don't care. When you talk about truth and facts, then truth and facts, really, they don't care about your feelings, you know? So anyway, we will have to see what happens with the HBO series. There's a lot of things that they have got right, so, you know, apparently they've got a lot of things right, and they really have gone according to the book. So we will have to see what happens and when it happens and how it happens, and see the final product. But yeah, I would say to HBO is don't hand us the inclusivity thing. The books are already inclusive. You know, HBO, I think he needs to kind of rethink things. But I think also J.K. Rowling does need to kind of extend a little bit more authority to say, no, this is this. But that's my opinion. Catch you all later. I'm headed into the gym.